What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Call of Duty mobile video, and in today's video I want to teach you guys the 5 best tips the pros are not telling you to elevate your game to a professional level. Now there are 2 types of players, and those players are going to be mechanical and intelligent. And just before the video starts, I want you guys to like the video if you do want to see more of these, because I'm thinking about turning this into a series in order to help you guys actually elevate your game. Now, most of the tips and tricks videos on YouTube I do not agree with because they're trying to teach mechanical skill. And unfortunately, it's almost like weight training in a personal trainer. A personal trainer can teach you how to do a bench press in the regimen that you need in order to get jacked. But just by listening to them, you're not actually going to achieve those results. Mechanical skill really comes into what we can teach you to do and the drills you need to do in order to elevate your mechanical skill. But just by listening to someone isn't exactly going to do that. So in this video, I'm actually going to try to steer away from mechanical skill concepts and teach you guys more about intelligent skill concepts. Now, the intelligent player is the second type of player in most professional levels. As you guys know, I played professional Call of Duty on console, and I've played in very high competitive arenas in PC gaming. And throughout my years of FPS gaming, these rules apply to every single game I've ever played, including Call of Duty Mobile. Now, with all that stuff out of the way, let's jump right into tip number 1. So tip number 1 is actually going to be understanding your sound and getting good positioning. So if you guys aren't using headphones or you don't have a headset, I highly recommend just a simple pair of headbuds will definitely help you in your game. Sound is so important. Cranking the sound up literally as loud as you can handle from a good health position is very logical because sound plays such a good part in this. And it basically goes into pre-aiming your corners and setting yourself up for success. So what I mean by pre-aiming your corners is if you know someone's getting ready to come through a doorway, basically just start shooting before you actually see the target, because they're just going to literally walk into your bullets. That gives you almost an entire second advantage. And in FPS games, typically most people die within a second or two anyway, so it'll be an easy way to secure your kills. Now, I want you guys to set yourself up for success by not really pushing head-on fights. And what I mean by head-on fights is those fights where you're behind a wall, the person you're fighting is sitting on like a car, or maybe they're just around the wall, but they know that you're behind the wall. When you just push out behind that wall, they have already got the jump on you because they know where you are. They're probably pre-aiming it. They're probably literally locked down sights. They have that whole second advantage above you. Now, what you should be doing is trying to reposition. Now, of course, this is a very subjective tip. It doesn't apply in all situations, but 70% of the situations you find yourself in when you die, you more than likely could have went down another lane and you were basically getting kill hungry. Now, in a very professional competitive standpoint, this is a very, very bad thing to teach yourself. So try to reposition yourself, get around a different lane, find a different way to get to that person. Don't just push directly out because you are then at a disadvantage. Another major mistake that I see people making in ranked play and or scrims is shooting before you're ready. Your first 6 bullets are going to be the most important bullets that you fire out of your gun, no matter what weapon you're using in Call of Duty Mobile, slight of a sniper rifle. And those 6 bullets are so important because they're the most accurate. Because as you go through the recoil profile on these guns, the recoil gets harder and harder to control. So hitting those first 6 shots are very crucial. And what I mean by shooting before you're ready is I will see, it's a very bad habit, but people will immediately see someone and start shooting. In some situations, this is good. In the situations that I'm talking about is when you see someone, but they don't see you. And you start shooting and you basically potato those first 6 or 8 bullets. If someone doesn't see you, make sure you line up your shot, make sure you lead your shot if they're running in front of them, so that you can make those 6 bullets the most effective as they can be. Because taking that half second to a second to really assess your situation will actually help you get the kill faster. So for instance, if you come around a corner, someone's running through the middle of raid towards kitchen, and you just hop out and start shooting, you now have increased that fight to where they can drop to the ground, and then that fight can end up becoming a 4 to 5 second fight. Whereas if you come around the corner, you understand they don't see you, you take that half second to lead your shot, you have now gotten your kill in under a second. So that plays very heavily into high-paced gameplay, which you will see at a professional level a lot. And making that half-second decision to turn that kill into a second kill versus a 5 or 6 second kill can actually be the difference between you getting a hard point or getting a flag or even just getting the kill in a simple search and destroy game. So the second tip I want to go in with you guys about is actually understanding your hot zones and dead zones. And what I mean by dead zones or a hot zone is the lanes on the map. So every map is generally broken into 3 different lanes. So when we're talking about a map like Raid, you have the center of the map, you have pillars, and you have poolside. Those are the 3 main lanes that people can come down to get across the map. There's literally no other way. If you want to go across the map in a diagonal, you're still crossing through 2 of those lanes, right? So understanding that and understanding the map breakdown is super, super important. And unfortunately, until I make videos on this, and even once I do make videos on this, the only way you're really going to learn it 100% is just by playing the game and understanding typically where people come from and spawns. Now, the reason I'm wanting you guys to understand this so heavily is because you guys are going to need to learn how to rotate around them for picks. Because I see a lot of people that will just sit there and hold kitchen practically the entire game. If you guys stay in one spot too long and you kill too many people in one spot, I would say anything over 3, the whole team is basically going to get a vengeance towards you. And once you kill them for the second time, they will literally start hunting you. And then all of a sudden you will have an entire enemy team pushing kitchen. This will almost 100% result in your death. Now, this is a very, very bad mentality. It's good to stay in a spot if you're getting kills and they can't kill you. But I would only stay there for a max of around 4 to 5 kills in a respawn mode. Now, the third tip I want to teach you guys about is understanding things from a mental standpoint. And that goes into like counting your bullets in your clip as they're coming out of your gun. Not literally. I don't want you guys to actually count every single bullet, but understanding how many seconds does it take to actually empty your clip in your gun. And then understanding if I crouch, how long does it take for me to get back up? If I prone, how long does it take for me to get back up? How long is a reload? And the reason why you guys need to actually think about these things, go into a private match or a public match and really just count in your head and get some level of accounting, however you guys want to count. I typically do it just by like 1 second, 2 second. I've got it down to like the noises. However you guys really want to pin this in your head, make sure you guys are thinking about it. Because when you're in a super stressful situation, that's the difference between life and death, and sometimes even the difference between you winning the game. I've played many high-level games where there's only one defining moment out of a 10 to 15 minute match that'll basically decide your fate as to whether you lose or win. And when you're in those stressful situations, you have to really understand your course of action and how long you have to, can I run away? Can I go prone, get up and run away? How fast can I actually reload? Because I know someone's pushing me. And then actually be able to fire my gun again. Understanding when 2 people push you, where your bullet clip is without actually looking at it, and understanding, okay, I need to get out of this situation to actually perform a more tactical reload so I'm not putting myself in a 50-50 position again. That is super important, and that's what a lot of high-level competitive play really comes down to, is doing those split-second decision-making processes in your head as to what you can actually do in the game in order to make the best situation to get you out of a bad situation. The fourth tip I want to teach you guys is understanding your opponent mentally and combating it for your advantage. Now, we have all heard the term, if you get tilted, you're done. It's very bad to tilt, especially in a high competitive atmosphere, because as soon as you tilt, you've mentally lost the game, and then you're going to mechanically lose the game because of that. So if you can understand how your opponents are thinking, and not literally, I don't expect you guys to become a psychic, but if you understand that your opponents are constantly pushing the same lane, maybe they're always coming down center right now because they need the hard point and they know they're going to lose. understand that and start setting up picks. Maybe go down a left lane or a right lane to try to get picks just to make their game even harder for them. A lot of people will stress out, and instead of making an intelligent decision, they will make an irrational decision, like constantly pushing a center lane and dying instead of adapting. And when you see that happen, make sure that you understand it immediately so then you can combat it to make the game even easier for yourself. Now, this is so important, and this is a tip that I really don't see a lot of people doing at all. And it really triggers your opponent. And the more you can kill your opponent, the easier it's going to be for you to tilt them. And once they tilt, like I said, guys, it is game over for them. Now, what you need to also understand is these tips can be reverse engineered against you. So basically the reverse of these tips is once you understand them and they're like literally ingrained into your head, make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that you're trying to force your opponents into, or else you will then die. Because this is so important. And basically the whole concept of the game comes down to these 5 simple tips. Now, if you guys did really enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up like I said before. And if you guys really want to see more Call of Duty mobile content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys would like to watch me play live, we are going live on Trovo every single day from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we might even go a little bit later than 1 p.m. But that's going to be our general schedule, so you guys can actually watch me implement these tips in a live manner. Or maybe you tried the tips and something's just not really working for you. Make sure you stop by and ask me. I'm definitely open to all questions that you guys have. And with that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.